Walmart released Q4 earnings yesterday, and here are some of the key callouts. According to CNBC, comp sales rose 4% for Walmart US. Global e-commerce sales jumped 23% year over year, topping $100 billion in total. CFO John David Rainey backed away from predictions surrounding deflation, saying, quote, the possibility of overall deflation still remains, but prices are more stable than where they were 3 months ago, end quote. But perhaps most strikingly, Walmart confirmed plans that it will acquire smart TV maker Vizio to accelerate the growth of its advertising business, a business which grew at a remarkable rate of 33% globally and hit 22% in the US year over year.
Wow.
Joanna, we're going to go to you first here. What are your quick thoughts on Walmart overall? And then more specifically, what are your thoughts on the Vizio acquisition?
I mean, first of all, wow.
Yeah.
Walmart, just wow. And, round of applause, right? I think they have just really proven what it's like to stand out in such a tough, backdrop of, higher inflation and reduced discretionary spend. And so, I think it harkens back to, the tried and true low price guarantee that they've continued to tout. I think, despite what we're seeing in lower overall spending, we are seeing that uptick in transactions, and that definitely benefited them as well. And then we've watched them in recent years really lean into new ways of doing business, right? And so that comes with e-commerce and the marketplace platform and the advertising and that you mentioned as well. And so I think they're continuing to look for ways to sort of reinvent. If we pivot to the specific Vizio partnership and acquisition there, I think it's no surprise that they're looking for something like that. They're continuing to look at growth opportunities. And again, the 33% that you mentioned on advertising makes sense that they're going to lean to something that harkens, profitability. They've grown grocery, notoriously low margin. They've been operating e-commerce, with losing profitability recently. And so they're doing that. I think the Vizio brings them back into some high margin space in the ads with probably subscribers that are right in their sweet spot, given that Vizio is, a value brand of television. So I think that's where they are, and they've got, I think, 18 million subscribers or so in Vizio. So if they're not already Walmart shoppers, they may very well become them.
Joanna, I think you bring up some really good points, especially with the Vizio acquisition, because you look at, 18 million active accounts at the end of just last year. Plus, I think that you look at the comprehensive data that they'll have about consumers. So not just the data that they can offer on their retail media platform of what shoppers are doing in store, but then once you tie that to what they're doing in their actions that they're doing at home on a device that they're using almost daily, if not multiple times a day. So I think there's so much. I love how you're hitting on how much opportunity there is here as well. Chris, you were also in agreement as Joanna was talking. What are your thoughts on the news from Walmart and especially this acquisition?
Yeah, I mean, I think the earnings news is no surprise. I mean, we've been talking about how Walmart is just killing it, and Doug McMillon may be like not retail CEO of the year, but CEO of the year of everywhere. He's doing so well. So, and they're just crushing it. So, and it's standout results, for the most part. So, but let's go back to Vizio. I think Vizio is an incredibly interesting play to me. And Joanna said it. It's the affordable TV maker, right?
Yeah.
So, with that, you get the automatic Walmart app install for sure. It even gives Walmart some distribution control over what is a holiday doorbuster, essentially. So from a merchandising perspective, there is value in that, especially because it is kind of the bargain basement, low price TV, or one of the options in that arena. But I think, to me, and this is where I'm going to go kind of hot take on this right out of the get-go, Anne, so I hope you're ready for this, but I think it signals to me something much, much bigger, which I think it signals to me that Walmart may actually be going after original content. And let me explain why. Because otherwise, like, why would Walmart do this? You can't like keep other apps off the TV, right? So if people want to get a Vizio, they can still download Amazon Prime, right? You can't just like make them exclusive to Walmart Plus, as an example. And there's really no point in Walmart trying to become a TV manufacturer. Like, yeah, there's some value there potentially, but it's a big get really when you think about it. But it does give them the option value of getting into home with content when that day comes. Like when they stand up that studio, when they stand up that content production arm, similar to Amazon Prime, because the media and the control of the content is what the future is about. So I think the way McMillan's thinking about this is like $2 billion option value gives us the play to get into homes more securely in the long run. It's a long-term play. If it doesn't work, who cares? No big loss. We still have a great TV manufacturer in our stable. We're good to go. And you got to think too, remember they debuted the content in the beginning of the fall last year, the holiday add to cart thing. So like, I think their minds are potentially going there. It's just, this is like an early stage kind of option value play, in my opinion. That's my take.
Man, I cannot get on board with that. I'm sorry. I still think that the value is blatant in that they can have this 360 picture of their customer. Like, yes, they could get into content, I suppose. But oh man, if this last year was any indicator of the type of content they're putting out, I am not hopeful for Walmart's ability to compete with the likes of Amazon and Netflix and some of the other creators out there.
Buy a studio.
Cassie, take us home on this. Where do you come down on the news from Walmart?
No, I wasn't thinking of that angle, Chris, but I mean, what I was really thinking about is how Walmart always wants to think about the customer experience as they're leaning into advertising, not forgetting about the customer experience. So that did kind of trigger, maybe that is the route they're going to, because they want to focus on customer first. And so without pushing advertising down their customers' throats, they can actually use it as a platform rather than, all those additive benefits, but their customers are getting a lot more out of it. So I think we'll see what happens with it.
Yeah, it's an interesting move. Like it's not I need to go that direction, but it gives me the option to go there if I should want to down the road. So that's what I like about it.
They have a TV producer, right? Like they don't have to have a TV company in order to do that. Like they could be doing that now in theory if that was really the angle that they wanted to go after, right?
They could be, but the interesting thing is the TV as the substrate that is in the homes of their clientele too, because Vizio is strictly aligned with their demographic too. So it enables them to have that app already installed on the TV, all that content already piped into the people that have Vizio throughout America. So that's what I like about it.
Can you tell I just don't want content from Walmart? Can you tell that I've been burned so bad by the ring from episode?
Well, that was specifically shoppable content, but they could get into like, I mean, what the heck? What's the barrier to entry on great content? You just need to hire right people, right? Really smart people that produce content. So, or acquire a studio too. So, all right. Well, that was fun. All right. We're starting off hot today.